Welcome back to another episode of Going For It. We are here with Mike Squared, Mike Spillane, Mike Thomas, here to drop the football knowledge on you. We have no Craig Brooks tonight, so unfortunately, the only gargling of Aaron Rodgers balls that will be done by HBO. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies.
They definitely swallowed.
They did it. They did swallow for sure. Like they even offered beforehand. They were like, this is how I'm going to do it. And Aaron was like, okay.
What do you prefer? Do you want me to do some ayahuasca first? Or
I'm not getting the jab. Don't ask me to do it. I'm not getting the jab. I refuse. We are here to talk about our first real actual football game that's going to count and matter of the season. The Detroit Lions are opening the season, which I like. What alternative timeline are we on right now that the Lions drew game one against the Chiefs? I don't understand. I'm in support. I want them to get the lion on the sideline. I want Dan Campbell to ride it in majestically before it like takes a bite out of his leg and then he bites the lion and then they're friends for life. Like I'm ready for this. I'm ready for all of it. We just did our pick'em where we all picked the Chiefs to win, but I want to highlight some positives. For the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, excited. We're going to talk about him. He might be a thing. Jared Goff might get a contract extension. Who could have seen that coming? Nobody here.
Nope, I didn't.
No.
Who would have guessed between him and Carson Wentz that both of them were going to be fine? And Carson Wentz then got really hurt and is out of the league now? Question mark?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
No, I mean, no one's given him a call yet, as far as I know.
Hey, it could happen before the end of the year. If Baker Mayfield still has a job, there's a place in this league for Carson Wentz. So I'm just saying, how are we feeling? How are we feeling this season? I'm going to start with you, Mike Spillane, about the Detroit Lions. I come to you first because you, in our earlier pod picking division winners, you said you're taking the Detroit Lions to win this division. How you feeling about Detroit this season, my friend?
I mean, I think that they got a rough draw by week one. They have to play in Arrowhead while the Chiefs celebrate winning a Super Bowl. That's a tough draw. It's not great. You know, I understand that
bad situation
kind of sucks for them. But with that being said, I like their roster. I like their coach. I like their situation. They have some good pieces, and I'm really, they have a rookie of the year candidate in my mind in Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's someone who absolutely can pop off if things go well for him. And I am excited to see this team play ball. So I don't see them, like I said, this game will be competitive until it's not, which means, it's going to be one of those things that they're probably going to be in it for the first half, maybe a little bit longer. And then you're going to start to see the Chiefs become the Chiefs, With that being said, though, I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a good game. And the Lions will be a good team. It's just going to take a week or two. That's all.
I mean, one of the things that I think is most exciting about them is they got a guy at wide receiver who I think is justifiably in top 10 conversation because of what he did last year.
Yeah.
Another good year this year. I think he could be in that top 7, top 5 range. In Amon-Ra St. Brown, stud. He's real good at stuff. Mike Thomas, how are you feeling about the Detroit Lions?
I'm feeling pretty good about the Detroit Lions. I liked them last year coming off of Hard Knocks. I thought they had a really exciting team to watch last year, and it feels like it's going to be pretty much the same this year. A couple of differences here and there, but nothing that's going to be a huge change from last year, I think. So I think this is going to be a good team. If we look at their schedule, I think they've got some winnable games and could be a playoff team. But like I said, a little unlucky that they go up against the Kansas City Chiefs in week one. I think they will keep it close with Kansas City for a good chunk of the game, but Kansas City is going to be just too much for them and they're going to pull away in the fourth quarter, or Kansas City goes up big early and Detroit makes a game of it late. I do think it's going to be fairly close in that regard, but it could be one of those where it feels worse than it really is.
So then let me ask this from both of you. With Kelsey out, does that make this game more competitive in your mind for longer, or would it just be another piece for them? Because we've realized Kansas City, their offense has moved beyond singular players. I think no one can argue that Kelsey's obviously impact. He's obviously a top 3 tight end of all time already. He's not even done yet. But like, their offense was able to move past the Tyreek Hill loss, was able to move past losing various pieces on the offensive line, on the defensive side, on like they are past that like one player. As long as Patrick Mahomes is at quarterback, they are a competitive team. Do you think the loss of Travis Kelsey is going to make this significantly closer, or do you think that the Lions are going to come ready to play no matter what? I'll start with you, Mike Thomas.
I think losing Kelsey, assuming he doesn't play, makes it harder for Kansas City to do what they want to do. Having him out there is kind of like that ace in your pocket where okay, at any time we can just cash this check and get a first down with Kelsey, get a hard fought touchdown over the middle of the field. It opens up the middle of the field so much having him there. If he's gone, it makes it easier for Detroit to defend. It's going to make Kansas City have to go out there and earn it. But I think Kansas City has the ability to go out and earn it regardless. So I don't think it changes the outcome of the game, but it definitely makes it closer.
Explain.
It's going to be one of those things that's going to make people a lot more interested to see what kind of fantasy studs they're going to find in Kansas City, because Patrick Mahomes is the kind of guy that can make everybody look good. So it's going to be one of those things where I'm not going to doubt Patrick Mahomes with no weapons, because he can put the ball where the ball needs to go. So it's one of those things that it might affect it a little bit because his favorite target's going to be missing, but it's not going to have that major of an impact.
So let me say this, and please, like I said, in the pick'em, we all said that we thought the Chiefs were going to win this, but Detroit has, from what seems to be a very formidable offensive line: Taylor Decker, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow. I'm not even going to try to say the right guard's name because I'm going to butcher that, and I'm so sorry. And then Penny Sewell. Very formidable front. No Jones for KC's defense. And again, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a stud on the outside. Do you think that's why they're in it? Or do you think that even Detroit has that inkling, that possibility, that slight fire of maybe some upset? I'll start with you, Mike Spillane.
I mean, they should. They should feel like this is something that they can do, that they can win, because they proved a lot last year that there were a lot more than just the Detroit Lions of old. So I think Dan Campbell has done a lot for the Lions in changing the culture and the ideology of that franchise, and they're actually heading in a positive direction for the first time since they had Barry Sanders on their team. Sounds mean, but were they heading in a real positive direction with Calvin Johnson there? Unfortunately, no. So I feel like I'm being mean, but I'm speaking the truth. I'm excited for them, and they should be excited. It's going to be a competitive game, and they absolutely have a chance. It's just you got an MVP on the other side who is calling the shots and can literally throw it with his eyes closed behind his back to whoever he wants to 50 yards down the field. Like, as long as he's able to do that, it's going to be a hard time for you regardless, and you can't hit the quarterback the way that Dan Campbell wants you to be able to. Like, it's not allowed in the league anymore. Like,
Mike Thomas, thoughts, feelings?
I mean, I definitely think Detroit can compete. They're a good team. Good teams can do that in this league. They've got a great coaching staff in Detroit. They've got to come out and believe that they're going to be able to be competitive and win a close one in this one. If they don't even believe that, it's going to be a blowout all the way. because you have to have that confidence against a team like Kansas City, because you got to also go out and do it. You can't go out there and start kicking field goals. You've got to have the confidence to move down the field and score those touchdowns. And hopefully the Lions give it to us. Hopefully we get the football game we deserve after a long hiatus.
Long off season. So would you say, if you're in that Detroit locker room, obviously a win is a win. A win is great. You go into Kansas City, you go into Arrowhead, they're celebrating their Super Bowl victory. You go and you beat them. That's a huge momentum boost.
Yeah.
For into perpetuity.
Oh,
however, if you are this Detroit Lions team, you're not going to say this to them, but you're on the coaching staff. They lose by a field goal. Is this a win for you moving forward?
Anything that is less than a complete blowout by the Chargers or by the Chiefs is at least a moral victory for the Lions, because you're talking about taking on the Super Bowl champions in their home stadium the night that they are celebrating their Super Bowl win. And they're probably going to be one of the best teams in the NFL again this year. So you're also going up against the best competition the league has to offer right now. And if you can keep it a one possession game or just a close game until late, or even just having a comeback that ends up short at the end, the coaching staff is going to be able to use that as a positive moving forward. And the Lions' schedule after this is way easier. This is probably the hardest game on their schedule all year long, outside of maybe the Vikings games.
Vikings are a good NFC team, so anything could happen there. Let's flip the script, go over to the Chiefs side. Mike, explain what is so we just talked to Mike Thomas about if Detroit loses by a field goal, maybe even more than that, if it's a close game for a long time and they fall short on a drive or what have you, it's still a moral victory for them as a team. What is a moral loss, even in a victory, if you're Kansas City?
I mean, even in a victory, what a moral loss would just realistically just be if there's a major injury sustained. I feel like that's something that can be demoralizing to this team. Like, obviously, don't want to wish that on anybody, but if they lose, like, if they push Kelsey out there and he tries to play and he ends up being out for a while, that's going to change the trajectory of the season. He's their number one target and the number one tight end target in the league. Like, that's something that can cause a lot of issues for them. Obviously, definitely don't want to see Patty Mahomes get injured because he's just electric. You know, most fun player to watch. Sounds like Kermit the Frog. It's great. But yeah, it's that would be the only thing that I could see really being a moral loss outside of an actual loss, is just if there's some kind of injury or something that alters the course of their season. And obviously, I believe in karma to a certain degree, and I do not want to wish that on anybody. So, like, that's me clearing my name if something does happen. No bad juju over here.
Well,
no,
Juju's
bad
got his own
juju's
problems.
Bad juju's in New England, right? Where'd he go?
That's correct. I think that is where the bad juju is. I saw a report that his
about
knee
to explode.
Yeah, his knee is like on the verge of explosion.
I hate that.
I mean, it almost sounds like something that would be cool to see, but like I don't want to actually see it.
No.
It sounds like what they said to Odell when he went to the Rams. They were like, they did his physical and they were like, hey, your ACL is gonna snap. Like it's not in good shape. Like everything else is really good around it, which is why you haven't felt like any impairment, but like your ACL is gonna go. And he was like, let's run it till the brakes, come off. And then in the Super Bowl, the brakes came off and he was like, oh no, this is bad. Direct quote, actually, he said exactly that. Chiefs celebrating this. I just want to get this out of the way because I feel like it's an appropriate question talking about Kansas City. Are we back here next season talking about them opening up against the Bengals on Thursday Night Football because they've won another Super Bowl? I'm going to start with you, Mike Spillane.
I mean, the odds of it are high if they can stay healthy, in my opinion. I don't believe when we did those predictions, I don't know if I called them to win the Super Bowl. I think I went that it might be the Philadelphia Eagles. But I
The Philadelphia
do,
Seagulls.
yes. But I think that the Chiefs are a team that will likely be in the Super Bowl next year or at the end of the season. I do. I absolutely do. So I would say that there's pretty good chance that it could end up running out that way.
Mike Thomas.
They've got to be the favorite to win the Super Bowl right now. So I don't think I picked them to win the Super Bowl, but would anybody be shocked if they did? No, not at all.
Can we also talk about how Blaine Gabbert has easily the best jobs in football? He went from backing up Tom Brady for 2 years to he is now second on the Chiefs depth chart behind Patrick Mahomes.
Good for him.
Like this dude he is like, I want to win as many rings as a backup quarterback as I can. That is my goal. And my guy is there. He is doing it. I saw his name and I was like, fucking Blaine Gabbert, first round pick. You go like 7th overall or something to Jacksonville, something like that. And he's got a mullet. So like
living his best life.
My guy is winning. He is winning at life. Ridiculous. Well, I want to do a score prediction. Get a score prediction from you guys. I want to start with myself. So that I give you guys time because I kind of sprung it on you. I'm going to say we are going to go 35-27 Chiefs is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Lions get some junk points there at the end to make it seem a little closer. Just because I feel like if it goes bad early, that could break a team. And I think that the Chiefs are just going to be like doling everything out early. They have Kadarius Toney. So like, obviously stud. Fuck that guy. I'm going to go to Mike Thomas. Score prediction.
Chiefs 45, highest scoring team of the week. Lions 35.
Nice. Mike Spillane.
I got Chiefs also at 35, and I'm going to go 35-31. There's going to be a garbage time TD that's going to make it close. And then there's not going to be enough time for them to get an onside kick to try and do anything to tie to try and win the game. So it's just going to be too late for them to try and take anything over to make it closer.
I don't want to fix the NFL or anything, but like having an onside, like a better option than an onside kick to be able to like regain possession would be so cool because onside kicks are never recovered. So
what if NFL, you did
get on it?
A 4th and like 15.
I'm about it.
Where the offense got to go out and run a play.
I think that was something that they experimented with in one of the other football leagues.
I love it.
I think so too. They've definitely talked about that before.
I think it was. I don't remember if it was the USFL or the XFL or something, but because especially since they changed the kickoff rules where you can't do like a run up anymore, like the onside kick is just something that is damn near impossible.
Yeah, the percentage is ridiculously low. Like, give us something that at least has an opportunity, at least has a chance to like regain possession, or like, how cool would it be if you like fucking had a target on the goalposts and your quarterback had to hit the target and you would regain possession from your 20, or like the kicker would have to hit the post, the left upright or something, and you guys would regain possession, or like make it a game of skill. Do something that's not like, well, we're going to kick this ball and try and bounce it over these people so that we have an opportunity to get it, unless it goes out of bounds, and then we're fucked.
All right, you're going to have to come out here and ollie down the goalposts.
It would be way cooler than an onside kick. It'd be way cooler. It's my feelings. Those are my feelings. But I also am of the idea that if a kicker kicks it through the uprights on a kickoff, it should be a point. I think that's fucking awesome.
Except in Denver. Not in Denver.
Not in Denver. Denver, it's negative points.
The addendum to the rule.
There's always got to be an exception. Is there anything else you guys would like to add on this Thursday night football preview, talking Lions and Chiefs?
It's on NBC, right?
I think so. There was something else that I was going to say, but I completely lost it. It was while we were talking about the other, like, different things to do. Yes, it's on NBC. But I completely lost what I wanted to say.
I'm excited to hear Collinsworth again.
Amazon Prime Video. That's where I'm going to watch it.
Oh, the Collinsworth slide is coming back.
Too.
This is a guy who can kick it through the uprights, even outside of Denver.
I'm about to say now, here's a guy so freaking loud.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, if you want us to talk about anything in particular, let us know. That's the best place to do it. If you leave a comment on this video, Mike will send you nudes. I left that,
what?
Very open-ended on purpose. Which Mike? You'll have to comment to find out. So thank you guys. We appreciate it, and we will see you guys all back here next time.